alaikum. This is Connecting the World program. My name is Sidra. Naeem. I'm your host. And this interview series is sponsored by Rehan Foundation and Institute of Peace. Today, my guest is Muhammad Irfan from India, and he is independent peace researcher. He's a social activist. And over to you, Irfan. Please share some introduction with my audience because we both want to know more about you.
Thank you so much, Sidra. Thank you for calling me here. As you rightly said, my name is Muhammad Irfan Pullani. I belong to the southern state of India called Kerala. I am a Keralite, but I live in Delhi. I am a Delhi University law student, final year law student at Delhi University. You said it rightly. I work as an independent peace building researcher on Kashmir. I do research. I do peace building research on Kashmir. It's almost 2 years I have started this activity for my life. So I am more into some activities in Kashmir and studying about the crisis and conflicts that's happening in the valley. So yeah, that's a brief introduction about me.
Starting the question list from your passion, from your work as independent peace building research.
So to say about my work, actually back in 2019, if you are aware, there was a major change in the politics of Kashmir. The government of India abrogated the special status that was given to the Kashmir state. And I was induced by that decision. I was curious to learn more about that particular event happening. Like I look back to history, I look back to the political history of Kashmir to understand why, first of all, why there was a special status. And as deep I studied about Kashmir and knew about the conflict that's prevailing there, I was very curious to dedicate my parts of effort to put up some resolution for the Kashmir problem. So I have visited Kashmir Valley after that, after like August 2019, almost 24 times I have visited Kashmir. I have interacted with the ground people there. I have interacted with almost 300 plus families, getting to know of their problems, interviewing them, recording, documenting them. I have also met and interacted with all the top political faces, figures of Kashmir. I have tried to absorb their insights about the problems in Kashmir, etc. And we intend to publish our research hopefully next year. The volume one of our research will be published next year, where we'll be having an abstract about what the problem is in the Kashmir Valley. So that's about the work. And about my work, I enjoy my work a lot. I have lots of Kashmiri friends. Even though I am not a North Indian or much learned in communicating in Hindi or Urdu, I belong to the south of India. We speak a different language called Malayalam. But still, after living in Delhi, I was amazed. I was amazed to see the response of Kashmiri people, brothers and sisters. Like they have tremendous support for people like us, people who likes to do something good for them. So yeah, that's it.
Impressive. So I'm going to be know about the Kerala atmosphere, Kerala's culture, and what is the population? How much the population ratios over there existing? Where is the agriculture, and how about the agriculture?
So Kerala, as I said, it is the southernmost state of India. It is a coastal state. We share boundary with the sea, I mean ocean. So it's having around 5 crore population. We most of our population like to say about the living standard of people in Kerala compared to the national average, the living standard and the literacy rate, and also even the health infrastructure of the state of Kerala is much above the national standard. There could be many reasons for that, but most importantly, to say about, like, Keralites are very hardworking. They are, first of all, very educated. Matlab, they have this tendency to seek education, to empower their life by educating themselves, and also they spread across all of Middle East. If you know, like in UAE, almost 3 million South Asians live together, like including Indians, Pakistanis, and also Keralites dominates the ratio of Keralites living in UAE. It dominates in the total presence of our subcontinent people there. So they have good aspiration for their education and their betterment standard of living, and health. To say about the health infrastructure, that's where we shine our best. Of course, you know, the pandemic is hitting us back really hard here in India, and most of our states, because of their big population, because of their large population, and the other not so actively functioning systems or functionaries in their state regarding the health, they are struggling hard to deal the pandemic situation. But Alhamdulillah, with the grace of God, Kerala, it's very soothing to live here, even in these distressed times of pandemic. The people who live in Kerala are much confident inside about a health emergency. What happens if a health emergency come? We are assured of a proper health infrastructure, beds, doctors, and everything here. So by the grace of God, we are blessed with all of this. And to say about agriculture, Kerala is also a semi-agricultural state. We have our own agricultural establishments here, and few of the districts are like concentrating on agriculture. Let's say I belong to a district called Malappuram, which is the only South Indian Muslim majority district. So I am living in a almost a thickly Muslim populated district, and it's the only South Indian Muslim majority district. And like close by to our district, we have Palakkad, which is the district of my mother's place. Like my mother is from that district, and that particular district is known as the agricultural core of Kerala. Like they produce a lot of agricultural things, and it fuels the entire Kerala's agricultural needs. So yeah, that's it.
So in Kerala, people speak Hindi language or Tamil or other.
No, Kerala people, as you would know, the north of India or the central Indian states mostly speak Hindi, but the southern Indian states have their own indigenous language, and they are, if I may say, in a very lighter note, they are a little reluctant to learn and communicate in Hindi. So we have our own language called Malayalam. It is a very tough language, to be very precise. In fact, the second toughest language in the world to learn. So people, even in our country, is not so interesting to learn that. But to say about, most of the Keralites know to communicate in English. As I told you, it might be a blessing of the education, but we all are well empowered to speak in English. And especially the Keralites who are traveling abroad and other states and all, they perform well in English. And recently, like very recently, like the Keralite people only is also showing a slight interest to learn Hindi in order to communicate with other state people and much of a larger audience, especially in South Asia. We are trying our best. Like we have proper knowledge, proper education in Hindi in terms of the academic one, but when it comes to the speaking part, we lack, because not many people here speak Hindi, or we don't need Hindi to communicate here. But of course, like people like me who travels and who settles down in another state like Delhi, we will of course in any way automatically we will learn Hindi. We'll try to communicate. So That's the language of Kerala, basically.
So just trying to make it more lighter and more funny. If I'm just saying that, just introduce yourself in Malayalam, or what is the language? That is a Malayalam language. Please try
Malayalam.
and just listen.
For the sake of convenience, you can call it Mallu, maybe. Like Mallus are literally the people who speak Malayalam, but you can say Mallu. So, what did you say? Should I
Okay.
introduce in Malayalam?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, so in Malayalam, I can say Ende Peri Muhammad Irfan Pullani. എൻ്റെ വീട് കേരളത്തിലാണ്. My name is Irfan and my home is in Kerala. So ഞാനൊരു Delhi University law student ആണ്. That means I am a Delhi University law student. Like most of these words, even we are not so expertise to speak in the real Malayalam. I mean the total, the what do we say, the real Malayalam. But we also, like, I did my schooling and all in Abu Dhabi. My family was living in UAE. Like my father used to work in the Ministry of Health for the government of UAE, and I did my schooling there. So I'm not saying that I don't know Malayalam, but I am not a big master in Malayalam fluency. I know to read, learn, and I mean read, write, and understand and speak, but I'm not a master in Malayalam, to be very honest.
Okay, but I really enjoy the short sentences and Malayalam. Every state, every city, every country has its own history. So, what is the Kerala's history? Why people say this is Kerala? Here is any historical background or any person who's just coming there and developing this area?
So, to say about the speciality of Kerala, as I have told you, the main thing is the standard of living, education, healthcare, infrastructure, etc. But when you look back to the political history of Kerala, Kerala was carved out of the Madras state, which used to exist. And in Kerala, there was this first communist government ever in Asia, if I'm not wrong. Like there was not in Asia, in the world. Like Kerala elected the ever first communist government anywhere in the world. So we have a strong communist base in Kerala, even though I'm not affiliated with any political ideologies, not only in Kerala, in India totally. I'm not affiliated with any. But the Keralite people are very famous for being communist. I don't know how much you are aware of the communist ideologies, but even we had a recent election, like we had its results around 2 weeks back, and the communist government, by dissolving the history of Kerala, to change the governments each term, like after 44 years of time, it happened that a single government got a second rule. Matlab, it had a continuous term. The communist government of Kerala, led by the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, came elected and won again to continue their second term. So people are a bit, what do we say, I can't say liberal, but they totally ignore the politics of communalism and politics of hatred. They look forward development, education, etc. But as I don't know how much you are aware of the other situations here in the Indian states, but there has been a imperative that Indian people are a bit communal or inclined to the communalism, but Keralite people are different. They don't vote for religious politics or communal politics. They only see for the development of the state, the development of the region, and the prosperity of people. So they reject the religious extremism and same. Yeah, that's the peculiarity of Keralite people.
Amazing. And this is, I think, only Kerala has a number one place where just believe on the development. All over the world, we just believe on the faith, we just believe on the religious politicians, and we just defend our forefathers' political matters. And if I'm saying that my father's votes to that uh, political party, so I'm just banned for this. I will never ever give a vote for the other party because my father is connected with that party. So this thing is happening from all over the world. We are never ever stand, or we are never ever give vote against the our believing party or our beneficiary party.
True,
So
that's
this is an amazing thing in Kerala, because people are more aware about their future. They knows their needs. That's an amazing thing. So let's talk about the IT things. We all are facing for 2 years. The COVID situation has a lockdown, and education systems are closed. We all are work from home. So IT, what is the impact of IT in Kerala after the lockdown?
so Kerala IT, as I told you, we excel in education, and a major chunk of education or the career of Kerala people are focused on information technology. But to say about IT, you would be knowing about Bangalore, which is often called the Silicon Valley of India, where we have a huge IT industries, a huge IT base, like which supports, which empower almost all the service related industries in the West, like in the United States and everywhere. So we have a strong base of IT hold in Bangalore, which is a close by town to Kerala, even though it's in Karnataka. Bangalore is really famous for IT industries, not only in India but all over the world. So we have a deep influence of Bangalore IT sector here in Kerala. Like we have lots of IT engineers, and to come into Kerala only, we have this place called Cochin. It's a city in Kerala, and there we have a small hub of IT industries. Let's say we have the cyber park, we have the startup mission in Kerala, we have smart cities, like all of those places, especially the cyber park and all. It's equipped. It's a mini township which promotes the IT segment, etc. A lot of thousands of people work around, stays there, build their abilities, and also Kerala people and the Kerala IT engineers, especially the youth and students, are very famous for innovations. Like I personally have been a part of a lot of innovative campaigns and innovative conferences which was held during my studies as a graduate student here. I happened to visit a lot of places, including the Kerala Institute of Entrepreneurship Development, where they had severe, intense training for our innovative ideas and projects which we present. And to say about the COVID issues, like we have the, like if you Google and see, it will be very interesting for you to watch how a war room, something called the war room, which operates and coordinates and organizes the entire works of the COVID pandemic and the situation to be dealt. There is a war room in Ernakulam district, which I was saying, the same place, Kochi. If you see that, you feel like, oh, is this in United States or is this in any foreign country? Like they have that much of big screens, like that much of systems, that much of organized work procedures. They receive incoming messages, they receive the SOS messages, they coordinate there. So I'll be happy to share with you after that, after this meeting or something, uh, how how it's working in Kerala. So Kerala is a blessed space for IT industries.
Again, I'm coming to your project as independent peace building researcher. So you are independent peace builder researcher. Why you are choose this profession? Here is lots of profession. We're talking about Bangalore is IT field just like Silicon Valley in America. So why you are not choose any specific profession for you like marketing, like engineering, like doctorate and other things? Why you choose this difficult job for your mission or for your survival?
No, let me humbly correct you. It's not for my survival, but you can say it's a kind of passion, maybe. Am I am I clear audibly? Actually, Azan is in the background, so you can hear, right? Okay. So to say about, actually, I am not. I'm still a candidate preparing for the civil services examination. So I started my preparation back in 2018. It's a very diluted preparation, actually. If you are seeking for civil services, like for example the IAS, IPS, or IFS services here in India, we need extensive preparations. But I just did an year of extensive preparation, and after that, it's a sideline preparation going on. But when I started my preparation in 2018, that was the very first time I came to know of the Kashmir conflict. What exactly is Kashmir? And I personally, I don't know why, I don't know what reason, but I have a I thrive to solve the problems of people, honestly. I at least make my try to do something to resolve problems, if not the big one, but smaller ones since the early childhood. But so when I have this aspiration to become a civil service officer to save my nation, to serve my country, and this running of the system here, I was very confused, like which part or which area of the problem I can contribute my best to. And when I was a deep student of the Indian national movement, Indian independence movement, I was so curious. Matlab, I am a very enthusiastic student about the history of our subcontinent. And of course, when I came to specifically study about the Kashmir conflict, I somehow got stuck with that. I somehow got stuck with that, and there was an inner call that this is unfair. What is happening is unfair. The generations that suffering there, they are purely suffering it because of some mistakes or wrongdoings of our political visionaries which passed by. And also, to be very honest with you, I am somebody who stringently advocate for the peace between our countries in the subcontinent. Along with this Kashmir Journal project, we have flagged off a platform called the Border Peace Forum, which advocates for advancing the peace, trade, and harmony between the South Asian countries, particularly India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So that realization, when if Kashmir ever gets resolved, the ever pending problems between the half brother countries of India and Pakistan can be resolved. Like you will of course be aware of the artificial hatred our people carry just because of we have some mere political differences, or we had some major political setbacks. But apart from that, we all are the same. We look similar, we speak the same language, we have the similar food culture. So we at the same time understanding and respecting our differences as nations, we can promote peace, we can promote harmony between our people. So that was this thought, like if Kashmir is resolved, that's not only a resolution for this soul sufferers of the conflict, that's the Kashmiris, but it will open up a big array of opportunities for the South Asia to collectively become a rapidly industrialized and prosperous region in the world. It can dissolve, it can dismantle the entire problems faced by India, Pakistan, and we can come together as a more, what do we say, prosperous region. So that was the sole thought of that. Matlab, yeah. And as I told, the sudden decision of government of India to abrogate the special status of Kashmir, that was the click trigger, I can say so. That triggered me to learn more about that. And when I learned, and when I'm still learning about that, the more I learn, the more interested I become. So I don't know if that makes a pure answer, but I still don't have any. pure answer why I'm into resolving the Kashmir crisis, or why I'm making my own try to contribute to the solution of Kashmir. Yeah, but that's it. Yeah.
Okay, I have a last question for you. Thank you for your time, but my last question is, which five things you need to change for peace and for all over the world in the peace? Which five things you want to change in your life for all over the world in the peace under the umbrella of peace?
uh, to change about peace, or are you asking what are the main five factors which I would suggest for prevailing peace?
No, I'm asking about your mission. Which five things you want to uh, implement in this
All right,
world
all right.
for peace, for
I'll
humanity?
answer you. I'll answer you. Actually, my research is also split up into organs. So to say about the research organs of Kashmir Journal, our major organ, or an organ which we focuses as a social entrepreneurship, is called the peace tourism. We have a organ called Jannate Kashmir, which promotes peace tourism. I don't know how much you or your audience are aware of the concept of peace tourism, but there's something prevailing in the world called peace tourism, which we promotes peace through tourism. So, using tourism to connect people, firstly from the Indian mainland to Kashmir, and then later the international people, including the Pakistani people, to connected with Kashmir in terms of tourism. I honestly believe that can promote peace in the region. And to come up to our second organ, it's called MAPE. It's called the MAPE. It is an abbreviation for Media and Arts for Peace. So we have an organ which is extensively dedicated for promoting peace through media and arts. So I believe media and arts have a very, very important role in propagating peace. And to say about, I would recall what Nelson Mandela said: the power of art is beyond any boundaries. Actually, he didn't say in what statement I said, but I'm saying the gist of his statement. Like the power of art. Art can travel beyond boundaries, or beyond to the inside of the hearts of people, than any other medium can promote. I mean, travel. So, media and arts for peace, that's MAPE, is our second organ. And to say about another organ of us, actually, we have a specific organ called the religion and peace building, which is not yet activated, but this media and arts for peace and the peace tourism is totally activated. uh, our inactive organ is religion and peace building, where we are extensively still researching how religion, religious leaders, and religious communities can promote peace. So, religion and peace building is another organ. And we have only four organs. I would sum up your 5 points to four. The fourth one is called the Peace Tech Channel. If you could see, there is an industry evolving called the peace tech industry. I am inspired from the United States Institute of Peace, where I have did few certification courses. They have a separate organ called the Peace Tech Lab, which promotes peace through technology. So there is a lot of things that technology, not only the social media or video conferencing technology, but coming into the real hardware technologies used in our border areas, and some mass communication technologies used to build resilience between people. So using technology for promoting peace, that's our final and a very important organ of us, that's called the Peace Tech Channel. So I'll sum up to these 4 points right now. And yeah.
Thank you. But I really impressed with your peace with social media, peace with IT, peace with this advanced technology. This is the amazing thing. And then peace is traveling around the world, inshallah. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you, Irfan. I'm very thankful to you because you are busy and different different activities and other Zoom
It
classes.
was very nice
So
talking
thank
to
you.
you. My regards to you and Rehan Bhai, of course. I have had the privilege of meeting Rehan Allah Wala from Abu Dhabi in last January. He visited my family home and all. So it's always a pleasure to interact with my friends across the border, and I look forward for more interactions. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.
So nice of you. I'm just sharing your Facebook profile link with my team because I have a huge team. They love to come with you on Facebook Live and ask about your mission and learning lots of things from you. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching this very informative, very beautiful, and very peace video with us. And our guest is Irfan. Irfan from Kerala. He's working for independent peace building researcher. He's a social activist. Please share this video in different groups and spread this message. Aware the people for peace. So this is your responsibility to share this message from other people. Take care. Bye. Allah Hafiz. And we will join you on connecting the Pakistani after a few minutes.